Who Bet Sports.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to a special edition of Dudes Who Bet Sports. Why is it special? Well, we've got a very special person with us here today, Papa Dude. We've got people may not remember this guy, but he used to be on the station almost every day, I feel like. Ricky Pasternak, Ricky's Rockets, however you want to tell, whatever you want to call him, I should say. Mr. Pasternak, how you doing, buddy?
Good. I want to be part of the trio of Sooner fans on this call or on the live stream. I'm number 3 for context. I'm definitely not as high ranking as you guys, but so many football games to talk about. Just wanted to join in before we get to the holidays.
Yeah, it's a good show. It's definitely a good show if you be on. I think the nerves are high between us three when it comes to the game in Norman coming up on Friday. So nice to talk about that. And then the Saturday games as well. So yeah, it's good to have Ricky. Papa Dude, have you ever been on with Ricky? I think maybe a couple times.
Oh,
right?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
Sure.
Are you okay with it?
Horse
you feel
racing
with it?
Horse racing.
Yes.
Part of it.
This is true.
Yeah.
All right. Well, as long as you're okay with it. If not, we'll kick him off right now.
Well, I didn't have a choice.
I'm giving you one right now if you have a choice.
No, this is going to be fun. He doesn't know anything about football. He roots for Syracuse.
That I object to statement A, but statement B, I agree with wholeheartedly.
All right, boys. Well, let's get to it. I'm looking forward to it. I'm not going to talk much on this. I'm just going to kick it to you guys,
true.
the experts. All right, we're going to let our guests go first, and then we'll let Papa Dude go second. So, Ricky, I'm going to ask you first. Let's kick it off. It's Friday night. It's in Norman under the lights. Should be a great atmosphere. Alabama heads to Oklahoma, but it is Alabama that's a 1.5-point favorite. That's held strong the entire time. All right, Ricky, who you like in this one?
Yeah, we'll get to the X's and O's a little bit, but I'm so intrigued by what this game means for the landscape. Does Kalen DeBoer stay or leave? What happens? Obviously, we're Oklahoma fans, so I don't think we're going to say we're unbiased as we break this down, but this is definitely the best matchup, right, in the 4 games, and the standalone on Friday night. I think this really comes down to, we don't say this often with Oklahoma, but what can the offense do? Usually it's what can the defense do, and we've said that for years. You guys will tell me, I'll throw it to you in a minute after I go through it, but this is one of the bigger Oklahoma games I could remember in a long time, when you're not just praying Lincoln Riley got the team to 50 points on the offensive side and you could stick with an Alabama and just try to score. And you actually go into the matchup like, we have a chance to out-physical out Alabama. We had never said that, and I think that's huge. And what can John Mateer do? We know the defense will show up. They've stopped everyone. Missouri, no real threat there. LSU, and they went to Tennessee and went to Alabama and showed that they can play. You guys go to all the games, and I assume you'll be there in Norman, which will be an incredible atmosphere, so I'll let you guys touch on it. But I'm just intrigued to see what happens afterwards. What does the aftermath look like? And hopefully Oklahoma wins, but I just think this is a massive game for the landscape. Where does DeBoer go? Does Alabama want to push him out the door? Does Brett Venables all of a sudden look like the savior from the team that was last year, which was a joke, to, wow, we have a real shot at this thing now, as long as the offense. So it's just so many different storylines. The game's going to be great. We see the spread of 1.5 and 40.5. If you love offensive football, I don't think you're going to get it, but I do think it's a 21-17 type of game, and I do think Oklahoma is the better team, and I think they will have enough on offense to get the job done.
It is kind of the landscape of college football will shift a little bit, or could shift a little bit for sure. I think if OU win or lose, that we at least are going into next year thinking we've got our coach. So that's not a worry anymore there, at least for this year. Alabama is interesting because for some reason Michigan hadn't hired anybody yet, and you just kind of wonder if Alabama loses this game, is Kalen DeBoer still in play? All right, Papa Dude, what do you think is going to happen down here in this game?
Yeah, I'll talk about that coaching thing first. Absolutely right. I mean, why are they waiting?
Yeah.
It makes you wonder. If Alabama loses, he's going to be on the hot seat. There's no doubt about it. He already is.
Yeah.
He's got to win this game to get off the hot seat. And any game you lose to Alabama, you're going to be on the hot seat. So he could have something in play with Michigan if they lose this game. It kind of wonders. It makes you wonder because think he would be more well-liked up there than he is at Alabama. Because when you succeed a legend, we've talked about this a million times, and it's the dumbest job you could have taken, in my opinion. You just can't do it. But anyway,
yeah.
Ricky summed it up pretty good. I think it's basically this. I think Alabama's favored because they turned the ball over 3 times in the first game, and and they outgained OU by 200 yards. But a lot of that was in the first half, and Oklahoma shut them down after that. So I think that's why they're favored. It's the only reason I can think of, because Alabama's playing like shit. They're not playing good at all, and their offense has been stopped. They cannot run the ball. And so, but the issue is this: who's going to turn it over?
Yeah.
Who's going to make the least mistakes? Because this is going to be a slugfest. I would take the under. I don't see any way this goes over 40.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think the way it goes over 40 is if there's defensive touchdowns in the game.
Yes.
You know, the last game ended up 23-21, which went under for that specific game. Yeah. I think it was like 45 and a half that day, but it would go over for this game. Yeah. And the reason why it went over, there's a lot of defensive, or well, there was one defensive touchdown and another that set up. It wasn't a touchdown, but it set up points. So I think that's how it goes over. Mm-hmm. I think it's an unpredictable game in the fact that I'm with you, but like it's just turnovers. Turnovers are going to dictate it, right? If OU turns it over twice and Alabama doesn't, Alabama's winning most likely. One thing that I think is a glaring weakness for Alabama that is a strength for Oklahoma that could be the difference. Mm-hmm. I think special teams. And you know,
very big.
I think OU's got great special teams, and Alabama does not. And I think that when you look at what happened in the first game, everybody talks about, they outgained Oklahoma by 200 yards, the turnovers, all this stuff. There was a blocked field goal in the game that Oklahoma had. There was a punt return that set up points that Oklahoma had. And, of course, Oklahoma, just made their kicks, and Alabama did not. Also, there was a special teams turnover by Alabama on a punt return that Oklahoma got. That was the difference in the game, looking back.
It really was.
Yeah. So I don't know. I do know that sometimes, that could flip, and some of that was maybe a little bit of luck on the side of it, getting a blocked field goal and getting that turnover. They did force it, but still, I know luck has a lot to do with it. Ricky, I'll ask you kind of you're an Oklahoma fan, but maybe not as ingrained as us. Is it too much homerism to say, look, we've already beat them once, now we have them at home, this should be another win? Or are we looking at it like, hey, maybe Alabama, they did outgain us by 200. I remember talking to you during that game. I was like, man, they look a little better than us. So should we just go back with Alabama? That's what I'm wrestling with right now.
Yeah. I will say I'm sure I'm a homer, not nearly ingrained as you guys. I'm not even going to pretend like I am. But there are 3 things that will help me make the decision Oklahoma is incredible at turning their defense and getting points out of it. A lot of teams will force a turnover, and the offense has to drive the field, but they'll force a turnover and they'll get great field position for Mateer in the offense, or they'll just run it back. And that's a huge difference, something that Alabama will have to contend with. So the defense that turns it into points is a huge key. And Aaron, you texted me, I think, during the College Football Awards, and we're like, we have the best kicker in the country. That's going to be huge in a matchup like this when it comes down to a field goal. So the little things are what makes me feel like Oklahoma has the advantage. And I think having Mateer with the ability on 4th and 1, 4th and 2, he could run it himself. I think that's a massive thing as well. We talk about Jackson Dart, things that could run, quarterbacks that could run. It's huge on 4th and 1 when you need that tush pusher. I just think the little things Oklahoma is very clean at. And Alabama might have more talent, definitely on the offensive side, but they can't run the ball. So you're forcing this team to become one-dimensional. You can call us homers, but I'm just looking at this, and I think the betting public wants to think that Alabama is going to show up, but they've given us no indication at all in December and even at the end in November that they deserve to A, be here, and B, that they're going to compete. Obviously, they'll compete. It'll be a good game, but what signs do we have over the last month or so to show us that they're going to be what they were earlier in the season?
Yeah, let's break down the quarterback matchup. I'll send it to Papa Dude here because I think at least for me, going into the first Alabama game, I thought, okay, now Ty Simpson, this is a guy he's going to be really tough. And minus the turnovers, he did play a decent game, but you can't just minus the turnovers because they kind of cost him the game. Let's be honest. He has not been very good lately.
No, and it stems though. The whole offense hasn't been very good.
No, and I think it starts with running the ball, right?
It does.
They
cannot run the ball.
Their offense is pretty similar to what we've been doing. Honestly, we can't.
Oh,
run
it is.
either. It all depends on the quarterback, and the quarterback hasn't played very well.
Right, he's not.
Yeah,
and teams are pressuring him.
Yep.
You know, they're getting to him. No quarterback plays well when you're running for your life all the time, and he's not elusive. You know, he's not one of those guys that can beat you out of the pocket. I think he's better than Mateer at, throwing the ball. And if they somehow can protect, then we're in some trouble. But they haven't been able to do that. We've got to stop the run. The matchup there is good for us. No one has run the ball on us effectively. Second time around, Venables is going to dial up some new stuff on the defensive side of it. I'm not worried about that. I'm just worried about Mateer.
Mm-hmm.
I have no confidence in him, and I haven't all year, even when he was playing well. I just think back, he was going to win the Heisman Trophy. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And now everybody's – because we were all saying the same thing. He throws the ball so funny.
Yeah.
Now everybody's going, his mechanics are terrible.
Yeah, right.
And they are.
Yeah.
He throws the ball sidearm, and now everybody's going, God, his mechanics are awful. His footwork's terrible and all this. Well, how come they haven't straightened that out?
Right.
I don't know. I don't have a lot of confidence in him. Ricky's right. He does make plays when you got to have it.
Yeah.
The other key is, can they scheme enough to get number 5 the ball?
Mm-hmm.
And that's Satenga, because this kid is awesome.
Yeah.
You take him off this team, and we're not where we're at.
Yeah, big key there for sure. I think
game open.
I think one thing that is interesting, ever since the thumb injury and surgery, he's wore like a brace on his throwing hand. In practice, he hasn't had it on.
Yeah.
Could that be enough to say, oh, he plays a little better this week? I don't know.
Yeah.
Or am I just hoping?
That might be the homerism in you.
Right. I'm just looking for something. Because, look,
I'll say this.
Okay, go ahead.
We're not homers, Ricky. We're really not. Aaron might be.
I'll say
I'm
this.
not.
Like, I picked against them in all these big games.
I have too, except the LSU.
I was just talking about the thumb thing. Just the thumb thing. I think you guys are extremely objective. Extremely objective. But we've seen it. I do think, to Aaron's point, and you guys tell me, you guys know what's going on in practice day to day. This extra week of him probably just getting to relax and not having to take on 9 tacklers could be huge. That could be a massive deal where he can just take it easy for a little bit, not having to play an SEC title game and kind of just getting a chance to really hone in on Alabama and learn from that first game, I think is a big factor as well.
It could. The other thing is too, and I want, in his defense, they had put everything on him. Mm-hmm. Every play revolves around him.
Yeah.
He has to make decisions on every play. And he doesn't have the personnel around him to help him out. And so I'm probably a little bit too hard on him, but because he's not as good as we thought he was going to be. But here's the thing about him. His teammates love him. He's a leader. He's tough as a boot, obviously. Yeah. He wants to win, and he's the kind of kid you want. So maybe he can play the game of his life. If he does, OU's going to win.
I don't think he has to play the game of his life. I think he's got to get back to what you saw against Michigan and what you saw against Auburn, and just kind of that guy that can make big plays when you need them. And I know you're right to some regard, like Ricky, at times, even when during the slump, he's made some big plays, but it's just been too erratic. The play's just been way too erratic. So I don't think he has to be otherworldly to win this game. Not to make like a deep run into this thing. Yes, he's going to have to be just a different guy than
one game at a time, boys. One game at a time.
Well, absolutely, yeah. I mean, when you're sitting there playing Alabama, you're not thinking about who's next. You just got to beat Alabama.
And the other thing, Alabama's not going to be intimidated by this at all.
Well, no, and neither is Oklahoma. Like Dennis said something about a uniform. That's a crazy I mean, these are blue blood programs.
Oh, yeah.
Nope, these are not.
This is what they're built for.
Right.
Just one note before there's so many games to get to. This could be Alabama's third loss to Oklahoma in 13 months.
That's right.
That's not going to sit well with that.
No, it's not.
No.
And that's
it just jump in real quick. All three of the losses would be crushing because last year, if you remember coming to Norman, they had gained a lot of momentum. They just blown out LSU. All they had to do was win their last two games against teams that were, I think Auburn was maybe 5-5 around there too. And they're in the playoff and they're looking good. People are excited. Dave Portnoy bet a ton of money on them after that LSU win to win the national championship. They came to Norman, they get beat. That was a crushing loss for Alabama. You fast forward to this year, that's another crushing loss. They had all the momentum in the world. That Florida State game was behind them. Everything felt good. They get beat, and then if you get beat out of the playoffs again, I mean, it's.
Well, the other thing is this too. If it wasn't Alabama, I don't think they'd be in the playoffs. I really don't.
Yeah, that's a whole different conversation.
That's a whole different thing, but they're looking at it that way too, and the national media has made it like OU's doesn't deserve to be in there because they have no offense. The Alabama faithful are saying we got to go win this game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They have no doubt in their mind they're better than Oklahoma, when in reality, I don't think they are.
I think we're the same team, honestly.
Yeah, we are. We're the same.
I think that's why you're seeing the spread there at 1.5. I really don't see a lot of difference. And that's why I say this is the hardest one out of the four. And you go, well, yeah, obviously look at the point spread. But I'm saying when you get in these styles of games, it's all about who makes that big mistake. And you can't predict that. The only thing you can do is look back and go, well, when they played, I mean, you could even say the last two times, although that's that time last year. I think that's irrelevant. It's a totally different team, both sides.
Yeah.
But the last time they played, OU didn't make the mistake and forced the turnovers.
I'll say one more thing before we go on.
Yeah.
When the announcement came out, I have to admit it, I was disappointed. I did not want to play them. And see, that's the fear I still have of Alabama.
Yeah. I
would have rather played Notre Dame, and Notre Dame may be better. I don't know.
I think that's fair. I also kind of wanted to see, and again, Alabama coming to town is a very, very, very big deal.
Yeah.
But Notre Dame, not seeing them very often, that would have been,
And I think we just played them a month ago, and that's part of it too.
Right. Agree. All right. Ricky, final answer. Alabama, OU, who's winning?
I'll take OU, and it's just keep it quick. Just those little things. The 4th and 1 plays, having a great kicker. They're just solid in all the spots you need to be, and I don't trust Alabama in those spots. So I will say OU. I'm going to go 24-21.
Okay. Papa Dude?
I'll go OU, but I never bet on my team ever. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go 17-13.
Wow. Well, I mean, we just saw that game. 17-13.
I'm getting used to them.
I don't. This could be bad. I really haven't. I haven't picked OU a lot this year in these type of games. I have a feeling we're going to win this game. I just do. I don't think Alabama's that good, and I think that's what it boils down to. I had 2017 Oklahoma. I really think the kickers are going to make the difference in the game. The special teams. If Mateer just plays a decent game, I think we'll
turn it over.
I think they win. So give me Oklahoma 3 OUs. So Alabama's certainly going to win. That's a bad
shit, boys. Deep shit.
All right, well, we'll kick it to Ricky to this one. This is his conference. Talk about Syracuse and ACC. He's got Miami to root for here. 11 a.m. kick here on Saturday. Miami at Texas A&M. Texas A&M a 3-point favorite in this one. Miami gets in. Now can they win, Ricky? Let us know.
Yeah, I think they can. Everyone talked about Notre Dame and how hot they were. Right behind them on that little choo-choo train down in Coral Gables was this Miami team that just was rolling. The same teams. this is another game. It's great because we'll talk about the NFL games as this slate weakens. The NFL slate picks up on the Saturday night, so it's kind of cool to see the momentum. I do think Miami can win. I don't think they're afraid of Texas A&M either. And the last Texas A&M team we saw was against, as Aaron called it, little brother down in Austin. And they were always little brother, right, for years. And A&M lost that game, and that was the last game we saw. And I thought A&M was a darling. I'm curious to see what you guys think, because A&M obviously being an SEC team, and then you have Miami being an ACC team, so you have my conference and your conference. I think this Miami team for the first time really can be physical, and I am the biggest Carson Beck hater in the world. I don't think he could win a big game. I think any game he ever won at Georgia was due to the rest of the team and not him specifically, but he has played well. This is an intriguing one too, but I'm curious to see what you guys think, just having watched A&M more than I did this season. This is a massive game for them, and you guys know usually they choke in a game they shouldn't, and they don't even get to this point. They're not even in a college football playoff. And we saw Miami last year. They went to Syracuse and gave up 1 million points, and they had a chance to get in, and Cam Ward, I think, scored 45, and they still lost. So kind of curious to get what you guys think, because this is going to be a different game than a shootout like Miami had played last year. So kind of I'll throw it to either of you guys to kind of step in. How do you think this game is going to shape up given where these teams are at?
Yeah, Papa Dude, I'll let you go first. Go ahead.
Oh, boy, thanks. I think these are two choking teams.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
That's what's hurting me on this one. I agree. I think Miami can beat them. I don't think there's any question of that. Here's the thing. Texas A&M's in our league, but to be honest with you, I didn't see them much. We were either playing at the same time or they bore the shit out of me.
Yeah,
I don't like to watch them.
They also didn't play anybody that.
Right.
I mean, before I watched every play of the last game of the year. I did
Texas.
watch almost all of the Notre Dame game, but that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Some of these other games, it's just like, yeah, they'll win that game. You don't really check in on them much,
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
When you look at their schedule, they didn't play OU. They didn't play Alabama. They didn't play Georgia. They didn't play Ole Miss. That's arguably the 4 best teams in the SEC.
Yeah.
They didn't play any of them.
Right.
So who'd they beat? They beat Missouri, which is a good team. They beat LSU, which is that's a good win.
I want to note that win was the last game for Brian Kelly, and it really looked like LSU had quit at that point.
They had.
Yeah.
That's
but
it.
It's still good. It's still a win. Yeah.
They didn't play Vanderbilt either, I don't think.
I don't know.
No.
I don't think so. No. They didn't really beat it. They beat Notre Dame's their best win.
Notre Dame's their best win.
Yeah.
And there's no disgrace to lose to Texas. Texas is a good team. That's no disgrace.
Yeah.
But they had the weakest SEC schedule there was. Now, you got to give them credit. They took advantage of it. I don't like their quarterback either. They should have lost to a South Carolina team that had won like 3 or 4 games and had them beat, and they don't know how to win. Mm-hmm. And they sat on the ball in the second half, and you can't do that. And I think A&M made a couple of big plays and got back in the game. Having said that, I cannot take Miami on the road in this game. I just can't. I think A&M's coach is much. I don't like Cristobal at all. I've never seen him win a big game. This is a big game. Mm-hmm. He's like Stark down at Texas. When have they ever won a big game? Never. When they have to get there to win the national championship, they lose every time. So I'm taking A&M to win, and I'm fairly confident in it. And it has nothing to do with the home field either.
It is a team. It is a team that a game, I should say, where both teams have been disappointing in spots where you didn't really think they should be. A&M a lot over the years. Miami specifically this year, I was talking to a Miami fan, and he's like, it's kind of crazy that they're in based off the fact they lost to Louisville and SMU. It's like, it's really crazy. Huh?
All they had to do is win one of them.
Yeah,
and in the ACC championship.
He's like, and you're like, you beat Louisville at home, you're up there. Maybe you don't have a bye, but maybe you do. And if you could win 2 of them, it's like, we're in a bye and we're not worried about this at all. And it's like, how do you lose these games? I'm with you. I blame I'm not a crystal ball guy at all. And I'm not a Carson Beck guy at all. I lean A&M in this game. And I don't trust it. I'm with Ricky. I don't really trust A&M in the spot.
Well, I don't either.
But if you got a team that's not trustworthy, Miami's a pretty good draw. You know, I mean, it's still a tough game. Ricky, I think what you're saying is true. I think talent-wise, this is the best Miami team we've seen in a while.
Yes.
Yeah, they don't have Cam Ward and it's Carson Beck, but the guys around them, they're pretty damn good. I don't know. I'm very very iffy on this game, but I do think A&M gets it done. Any final thoughts, Ricky?
Yeah, if anyone likes props, I think one guy that's going to really stand out and will become a household name is Malachi Toney for Miami. He is Carson Beck's go-to guy, and he is extremely explosive, kind of like Satania is for Oklahoma. This kid will make plays, and if they want a chance, they have to win. I'm with you guys. I can't believe we're going to be 2 straight sweeps, but I think we're all on A&M purely because we don't trust Miami. Not that we love A&M. We just don't trust the other team.
Absolutely.
And that's kind of where I think we all land.
That's where I am. That's for sure.
Yeah. Same here. I to that point, like the winner of this game is getting Ohio State. I don't think either team's beating Ohio State. I just don't. So I'm with you guys. It's a clean sweep. A&M minus the 3. All right, now we get into the not so fun games. I would say the kind of the joke games, if you will. Let's go to Oxford. A weird situation here. Mississippi hosting Tulane for the second time this year, if I could speak correctly. It was not a game the first time. Ole Miss just murdered Tulane. I don't think Tulane is a bad team at all, but I don't think they're that good when it comes to this kind of level. Lane Kiffin's gone now. Will that make a difference? I don't know. Let's go you first, Ricky. What do you think happens here? Ole Miss 17.5-point favorite.
Yeah, I just want to go through Tulane a little bit in terms of I think they did get a lot better from that game. Now, are they going to make up 35 points on the road again? No, they're not. But there's a reason this line is at 17.5 when we saw a 35-point blowout. So I'm just talking about in terms of the spread purposes. Again, this is one of those things. I'm intrigued to see what this offense looks like. I think Aaron's favorite quarterback in college football, you tell me if I'm wrong, is Trinidad Chambliss. In terms of excitement, in terms of he's got a little, and you guys can relate, a little Kyler Murray to him where it's like you don't know what's going to happen, but you're just excited to be a spectator for it. And he might make some mistakes and he might do some stupid things, but it's just so much fun to watch. And he's extremely dynamic. You don't know if it's going to work at the next level, and that's not a conversation for here. But I'm just intrigued to see what Ole Miss looks like. I'm really happy that the committee didn't drop them at all, right? I think this is the right spot for them. Whether Tulane makes it a game or not, I don't know. But they did look pretty good against North Texas at the end. I don't know how much to make of that game, but they were pretty dominant for the most part, especially in the second half. So they have momentum, and they're the little engine that could, right? They already lost by 1 million. Nobody really expects them to hang in. I'm curious to see if Tulane can make this, keep it to within single digits at halftime, and just make Ole Miss sweat a little bit. If this gets out of hand quickly, it could be a Penn State SMU like we saw last year, where I'm looking to see anything else on TV. College basketball, right? Like, we won't have to watch the second half, but can they keep it close? I really hope they do. And I am kind of leaning towards Tulane. Early thoughts, I think they can cover that number, especially because it's 17.5, not 16.5.
All right. Papa Dude, what do you think about that?
Yeah, it's pretty solid analysis for sure. It all depends on what is Mississippi's mindset. Are they focused? Are they overlooking this? I don't know how you can overlook a playoff game.
So the way to just jump in on that, the ticket price here is $272. It's the cheapest ticket to get in. That's the highest one. I think this is even though it's Tulane, I think Oxford, Mississippi is going to be a crazy place.
Well,
then you add in the fuel of Kiffin's gone, and I think they will be jacked for this.
Here's the saying that I was, you just hit it nail on the head. If I'm an Ole Miss player, I'm gonna be so motivated because I'm so pissed off at my coach for doing what he did.
Yeah.
I'm gonna come out and play the game of my life. And I'll say right now, this is who I'm rooting for if OU gets beat. I hope they win it all because I want to see LSU have to pay Kiffin $1 million that Mississippi was going to pay him if he wins, which is what part of his contract is. I'm still steaming over that whole thing, but how you can ditch your team, I don't know. So I do think Mississippi's going to be motivated to play great and just stick it in his ear. I would be if I was a player, unless I just love this guy.
I think it's one or two things are going to happen. They're going to come out and be extremely focused, extremely ready, and just dominate this game. Or they're going to go over that tipping point and maybe be too
riled up,
make some mistakes, keep Tulane in the game. Tulane's not winning this game, but can they cover it?
They could. They could. Yeah. They could cover it.
And Ricky had a good point. The key number here, it's not 16.5, it's 17.5. And
yeah,
that could be,
right.
It's huge in football. I mean, that's a huge number.
Tulane's going to have to play mistake-free. They're going to have to be able to run the ball. They're going to have to be able to keep the ball away from Mississippi some. And that's, they can't turn it over. They can't make mistakes. And they're still probably going to get beat by 14 at least.
You mentioned it. You're trying to keep the ball away from Tulane. Or Tulane trying to keep the ball away from Mississippi. Tulane didn't even cross the 50-yard line hardly in the first matchup until the second half. And that's where the problem for me lies.
Yeah, they have gotten better.
We know.
I don't think they can control Chambliss.
No.
I mean, I'm so impressed with him. And by the way, we always give D2 a little shout out. The team, Ferris State, where he came from, is playing for the national championship again and undefeated and have another quarterback about as good as he is. It's just amazing that they have a guy like that and they lose him.
Yep.
And here he is at Ole Miss, number 6 in the country, and have a solid chance to win the whole thing. And Ferris State loses him and then comes right back and is undefeated again in the championship game this weekend. So
Just a real quick story on Trinidad Chambliss, of course, transfer from Ferris State, Division II school. I kind of know the backstory. I can't really say all of it because I don't know if whoever tipped me off on it wants it said on air or not. What happened is, but basically, Ole Miss needed a backup quarterback, and Lane Kiffin found him. When they went into the spring, they didn't need one, and then I believe there was an injury, and so they poached him from Ferris State. So you got to give Lane Kiffin a lot of credit, or whoever evaluated, because you could have went out and tried to get anybody. He went and got this guy. They specifically went and offered this guy, obviously an X amount of money, and they went and they got him. And I remember when the starter got hurt, I thought, holy shit, that's that Trinidad Chambliss that I was told about back in the spring that just left Ferris State. He's going to play. And I believe he came into the Kentucky game and looked pretty good. And then his first start was against Arkansas. And you're watching this kid, and it's like, this kid is very good.
And the other guy was better.
He's better than Simmons. And then, he just keeps building. But the game at Georgia, he was fantastic. And then he comes to Norman, and he beat us. I mean, he didn't beat us single-handedly, but his feet in making first downs and keeping drives alive, that pretty much won the game for him. He's fantastic. I don't know why he wasn't there for the Heisman thing. I would take him over the guys that were there, to be quite honest with you.
Well, that is weird that he wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. One other point. How hard you want to talk about teams that are playing hard? They're obviously playing hard for Pete Golding, right? Who's they already named the head coach for sure, but this is the last game potentially for John Sumrall too. And I think those two Lane players understand, wait a minute, that doesn't mean they're going to win, but they're going to give everything they can for this guy because they put him in a spot where we don't know if Tulane will ever get back to a college football playoff, especially if the format changes again. So I think it's two motivated teams.
Yep.
But it's just another note. John Sumrall obviously is on his way out the minute this season ends. So they'll obviously be extremely motivated just to be there, but also knowing that this is the last time they're going to have this with their coach potentially too. Yeah, so just another nugget.
Another thing is too, this whole thing, you look at Kiffin and how he ducked out. The whole thing with Tulane's a little different. Mm-hmm. Those kids down there, they're not dumb. They know that their coach could not turn that job down. He just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And not only that, whatever deal he made with where he's going allowed him to coach. Mm-hmm. And I don't blame Ole Miss one bit for saying to Kiffin, no, you cannot coach in this game because you're going to a rival school.
Yeah, same conference. Yeah.
Yeah, same conference. You're known for poaching players. You're not going to coach guys and then turn right around and talk them into coming with you. So it's a totally different thing. And Tulane and James Madison also, their coach is leaving. It's a whole different motivation thing there. Those players understand why their coach had to take that shot. They understand it. So.
No, I agree. It is a different situation for sure. It's tough on it's got to be tough on the coaches though. You're trying to recruit for Florida, for Summerall situation, and then you're trying to beat Ole Miss, and that's not it's not ideal. They got to do something because
they got to change something.
All right, final picks. Ricky, you're gonna go Tulane?
Yeah, I'll take Tulane. Just that's a big point, and who knows what it's going to look like, at least for the first half with Ole Miss on the offensive side. They're trying to figure out who's calling plays and how this is going to look. So it's just too big of a number when I think Tulane's playing for a lot more than just a football game.
Yep, fair enough. Papa Dude, what do you think?
I think it's going to be right around that number, but I think Ole Miss will pull it out and maybe go by about, I'm thinking 38-17.
Yeah, this reminds me a lot of Conference Championship Week when UNLV went to Boise, and we just saw that game like 3 or 4 weeks ago, and Boise was able to win easy, and Boise won easy again. That's what it kind of reminds me of. I do agree it is a different situation with Ole Miss and everything going on there, but I'm taking Ole Miss minus 17.5. We just saw it. It was such a dominant win. I think Ole Miss is ready to play. I think hiring Golding seemed like a good thing at this current moment. They really like him. So I think Ole Miss is ready. I don't think they miss a beat here. Give me the Rebels. All right, last one. I don't know. I'm curious about this one a little bit. James Madison, definitely the Cinderella of all Cinderellas. They get in. They have to go to Eugene. Oregon minus 21, a huge spread here. What do you think, Ricky? Are you intrigued by this game at all?
On a scale of 1 to 10, it barely gets to a 3. I'll be honest. It barely gets to a 3. If I find a race at Turfway Park or something, there's a real chance I don't watch much of this one. I'm just going to be honest with the people that are on here. I'm not going to drum this one up to pretend like it's the Texas USC game from years ago or anything crazy here. Oregon doesn't even, to me, they're not even that exciting to watch. So at least if Ole Miss blows out Tulane, it's like, wow, Ole Miss was a fun watch. Chambliss is fun. This team is cool. To Papa Dude's point, we're rooting for them, right, because of everything that happened. Oregon is just kind of coasted. Indiana took care of them, and that was pretty much it. Oregon didn't look impressive to me in really any of their games. I mean, barely escaping Iowa on the road. They did play well against USC, but Lincoln Riley doesn't even understand the concept of defense. Never has, never will. So that was the one time Dante Moore looked like an NFL quarterback to me. He didn't play that well when they played Indiana when it was a Dante Moore versus Mendoza game. I think that was back in early October, so it was a long time ago. I don't have much here. I don't think Oregon is a player in terms of the national title picture, and I do think Ole Miss can be. I just think they're a little bit more explosive. So at least in terms of that, I think this is an Oregon team where they're vanilla. They play it safe. They get out of there with a win. They don't show anything too much in terms of trick plays and things like that. I just think they get the job done. They move along, and this is a relatively easy blowout with not a lot of excitement.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. Papa Dude, what do you think?
Yeah, I do too. I feel, I don't know. I just have no interest in it either. I will watch a little bit of it at first to see if Oregon's flat and maybe James Madison makes a play or two, gets ahead, and then see what happened. I think they cover. I'm with you. I'm not real sold on it, Oregon. They haven't played anybody either. I don't think they're going to win the national championship. I would not be afraid to play them at all. But I don't think you can come from the Sun Belt and win this game. I just don't. Not in Eugene.
No, I mean, I think if this was a week 2 or week 3 game, which it kind of looks like that's the look of it, right? I don't think we'd be sitting here going, I don't know, this could be interesting. I think we'd just say, yeah, I mean, Oregon will probably cover this. And we just
Well, if it was week 2 or week 3, they'd be a 30-point favorite.
Probably so.
Because James Madison wouldn't be 12-1.
I'll stick up for Oregon a little bit because I feel like they're getting bashed in the comments. They're getting bashed by you guys. They're 11-1, and their only loss was to the number 1 team in the nation.
That's
so
true.
I mean, I don't think they're a bad team, guys. I think they're pretty good.
Well, I didn't say they were bad.
They have a Texas A&M feel to me.
Yeah, I mean,
not they choke, not that they choke, but it's like there's nothing they do that is spectacular. And I think if you have to win, you need something that's going to be spectacular. We know Oklahoma, they could play spectacular defense. It will keep them in every football game they play. Trinidad Chambliss is spectacular. We can go through other teams that are spectacular. Jeremiah Smith or Julian Sain, whatever. Dante Moore's look good, but he's not even going to be the first quarterback off taken, most likely. So I just don't think this is a team that's we could put a lot of stock into. I agree with Papa Dude. It's like get in, get your job done, close out the game, and you're gonna go move on. Like it's just not a game a lot of people I think have to put a ton of stock into. And it also competes with another massive NFL game on Saturday night too. So I don't know if that was a coincidence or not, but I don't think many people are going to be tuned in past halftime.
Yeah, I hear you on that. I do think that it's very strategic how these games have been placed out. It's like, okay, that 11 a.m. game, yeah, that's a standalone. And guess what? It's the best game on the 3, right? And then these two are like, college football's kind of said, well, we're just punting on these. The NFL can take the viewership. That's okay, because they're probably not going to be the best example of college football. That's for sure.
Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Can we not say the same thing about Ohio State as we're saying Oregon?
As far as they haven't played anybody?
Yeah.
And their loss came to Indiana. Yeah. I mean, you could. They beat Michigan, but that's a big win.
I'm not saying, I mean, I don't want to play them.
They probably caught Texas at their. I'm not saying Texas beat them now, but they definitely caught them at a good time. Now, on the flip side, Texas caught Ohio State at a good time too.
Yeah, too.
That game week 1. I don't think either one of those teams are close to what they are now. I think they're much better, both of them.
But I think they may be a little overrated because they won the whole thing last year. I mean, I don't want to play them, but I don't think their offense is very good.
They're definitely not as scary as last year.
No.
Ricky?
No, I agree. I agree with Papa Dude in the fact that they are similar to Oregon in that they have the one loss against Indiana. So it's pretty much the same team in terms of record. But if I have to see a guy like Jeremiah Smith, that's just automatically, and Carnell Tate, my whole defense has to shift for those guys. And I just look at Oregon, and I don't know if they have those playmakers. Right. And you guys, again, biggest Oklahoma fans, SEC fans that I know for sure, living in my stupid state of New Jersey here. But if you face Ohio State, you know that they're going to come with offensive firepower, where at least if you're an Oklahoma fan on the defensive side, you're like, wait a minute, we haven't seen a quarterback like that, or we haven't seen a wide receiver like that. And that's going to put fear into you. And I know I'm on the minority here, but I know it's not an Ohio State conversation, but I don't hate when teams lose like they did against Michigan last year, or they lose against Indiana. Sometimes it does refocus the team heading into the biggest part of the season. I'm not saying teams should lose. That's not what I'm saying, but that game really didn't mean anything, except for it meant more to Indiana than it did to Ohio State for sure. And all of a sudden, those guys went into practice. Well, they're on a bye, but they're going into practice this week and next week. Like, it's go time, fellas. Like, last year was last year. Let's move on. So maybe it does refocus them. Maybe their mindset shifts. But I'm with you, Papa Dude. I think they're very similar to Oregon. They just don't put the fear factor into me. Oregon doesn't compared to Ohio State.
I agree.
No, I agree. Liz, I think it. Well, I'm going to say that comment from the last. I'm going to ask you guys two more questions, and we're going to move on. Well, before we do, I'm going Oregon. Papa Dude, -21. What are you doing?
Same thing.
Ricky?
Oregon, I will say, if people are betting, really try to get 20.5, even if you have to pay a little bit. Just you don't want to watch a game for no reason and it ends up 42-21 on some backdoor cover. Just try to get to 20.5 if you're
it's probably worth laying a little more juice to get to 20.5. I totally agree with you on that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because that would be and listen, that could definitely happen for sure. All right, 2 questions, and then we're gonna move on to the pros. Which is, I don't know if we watch ever, Ricky. That's our favorite segment where we just go crazy on it. All right, Ricky, out of all the teams here that are playing this week, who's the one that's most dangerous? Maybe not to win it all, but make a run, maybe even get to the national title game. Who's most dangerous out of the teams this week?
Oh, this is where we'll probably disagree. I think it's Ole Miss. I think when you have a quarterback that plays like that, who also, to Papa Dude's point, you guys are always the one giving me the D2 and D3 numbers because I'll be honest, I don't watch a single D2 or D3 game. I'm not even going to pretend like I do. That kid came from nowhere. I had no idea who he was till Aaron told me. That kid's playing with a chip on his shoulder. This team's playing with a chip on their shoulder. And they're in the SEC, and they've seen all the big boys. They've seen the athletic team. So for me, it's that team. Again, I will commend the committee for keeping them in their spot, not dropping them because of the Lane Kiffin thing. They did the right thing. 6 is where they belong. So to me, it's Ole Miss, plain and simple.
Papa Dude?
Oh, no doubt. Me too. They're the most dangerous. There's no doubt. Can't take OU because when you have – and Alabama either. When you're not consistent on offense, you can get beat to anybody. Anybody can beat you.
Yeah.
And because you can't score, and you got to be able to score. Ole Miss is good enough on defense. They're underrated a little bit, and they're dynamic on offense. So definitely of these teams – that's who I like the best.
I wish they were number 5. My answer is Ole Miss.
Oh, that's right.
I wish they were number 5. My answer far and away is Ole Miss. I really, really like them. I've sung their praises all year. I wish they were 5 because then they would match up, if they won, with Texas Tech, who I think is obviously a much better matchup for them than having to play Georgia again.
Oh, I do too.
Yeah.
That's right. I didn't think that far down the road.
Their next round matchup will be very difficult. On the flip side, they outplayed their ass for 3 quarters in Athens. Now they got killed in the 4th quarter and got beat, but still they can play with them, but that's a very tough matchup. So my answer is Ole Miss. I do think they can make a little bit of a run. But that second game is going to be really, really tough for them.
Yeah. And see, on the flip side, what you brought up there, Aaron, too, Oregon's got to play Texas Tech.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good draw for them, because we're assuming Texas Tech. I don't watch the Big 12 much. I mean, I went for years. That's all I watched. And now I don't watch them at all.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen them a whole lot. I think we may be underrating them, Texas Tech, just a little bit.
Yeah, they've been underrated all year, though. Yeah. And I think for them, that's a great thing. Like, keep doubting us. They remind me of Arizona State a little bit last year in terms of the Big 12. No one's really respecting us. Right. They're better than Arizona State, though.
Yes, they are. Their defense is nails.
Yeah. So, right. And, I mean, they had – I think it might have been the first linebacker as part of, like, the Heisman top 10, maybe. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think maybe since Manti Te'o.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe. I could be wrong. But in terms of what that guy means to that defense, it's the best – easily the best defensive player outside of Caleb Downs, maybe, on that side of the football. So, I would agree. Oregon's got a good matchup, but
and I'll bet you right now, if Oregon wins, they'll be, 7-point favorites?
I would have said closer to 3.5 or 4.
Yeah, I was going to say about 4.
I just don't think Tech gets much respect.
No, they don't. And, the problem is they just haven't – they haven't played. Again, they're playing the Big 12, and you don't know how that's going to translate.
Well, how many
from a guy that's rooting for a team that goes to the Big 12 and then gets in the playoff, gets their ass kicked. I mean, that's just kind of.
That's true. What do you think about Georgia and Mississippi? 6?
I don't remember what it was the last time. I think it'd be 4 or 5. What do you think?
So I'm with Papa Dude. I think we're approaching 6. The full touchdown, somewhere between 6 and 7, and it all depends on where you get it. Yeah. I also think it depends on – this is for people that are betting. Obviously, we could talk about it fully now that Missouri's up and running where you guys are. But this is big. Like, if you really love Georgia, like see what that look ahead line is and try to get it early, because it might be 3 or 4 and then it opens up at 6 and you could beat it. So this is a good opportunity if you really love a certain team in the next round. Try to see what happens, or knock on wood, someone gets hurt and now the line has shifted a little bit. So who knows? This is a good time to look ahead before these games play out.
Well, one more. I'm going to ask you one more question before we do, since we're talking about what the lines might be next. I guess it'd be 2 weeks. Alabama OU, no matter who wins, that's a pretty similar team against Indiana. How big of a favorite is Indiana? So here you go. You got Indiana, the darling, versus whoever wins. It's a blue blood program. Indiana's going to be, I think, like 8.5-point favorite in the game. What Ricky, go ahead. What do you think first?
I think if it's Alabama, it's probably in that 6-ish range. It's just the Alabama love. And that's goes all the way back to Bear Bryant and then Nick Saban. It's like the Yankees or the Dodgers. Like there's just people are going to bet Alabama because they see the name. I think if it's Oklahoma, it is probably in that 7.5 range. And in that case, if it does get to a full touchdown, I would be all in on either of these teams. I don't really care which one, if it got to that point. But I think Alabama would be a little tighter just because of the name.
Papa Dude, what do you think?
You guys study Vegas a lot more than I do.
I agree with it. I think OU. I think it'll be 7 or 8. Honestly,
I don't.
Really?
Indiana, no.
Yeah,
if they're playing Ohio State, yes.
Yeah.
I think the allure of Alabama or Oklahoma. Oklahoma's hardly ever that big an underdog.
You're right. Yeah. Yeah.
Even when they're terrible, they're never that big an underdog.
Yeah, because of that name. Yeah.
It's the name, and I still think people will bet Alabama or Oklahoma in that matchup with Indiana. They won't with Ohio State.
Yeah.
I'm thinking 5 at the most.
Okay. All right. For last question before we go to the NFL, Ricky, start with you. Who's taking it home? Who's winning it?
I'm starting to buy this Georgia team a little bit more. And I wasn't a Gunnar Stockton fan. Still not. I don't think he's amazing. The way they played against Alabama, to me, kind of showed that they're at a different level. And I thought Ohio State was that team. And I saw them struggle, as Papa Dude pointed out. They did not look good at all against Indiana. And I think Georgia has the players, the athletes, to do what Indiana did to either Ohio State or Indiana, whoever that would be. So my pick is Georgia. I think they do everything well. Nothing spectacular, but you really have to beat them. They don't make mistakes. Kirby Smart, we know, is more than capable of putting them in the position. So I would say, to me, it's Georgia. That's the team I'm leaning on. And you'll get a good price because of all the love that Indiana and Ohio State will get. Yeah,
right now, Georgia is 6-1. And because of that, that is my pick. Because I think it runs through Ohio State and Georgia in the semifinals. I think they'll match up. I think the winner's going to win the national championship. Here's the difference. Ohio State's around 2-1, maybe 5. You could get 5-2 depending on the book. And guess what? I've got 6 apps that I can legally look at. So here in the state of Missouri, thank you very much. Georgia about 6-1, Ohio State about 2-1. So I'm on Georgia at 6-1. Papa Dude, what do you think?
No brainer, Georgia. They've played much tougher competition. They're battle tested. These other teams, in my opinion, are not. The Big Ten was weak this year, except for the top 3. I mean, come on. The Big Ten wasn't any good.
No.
It just wasn't. The top 3, yes, definitely. But they weren't tested by anybody except each other. And so Georgia every week, that SEC, you play Georgia, you get that team's best shot. They have been tested. They're playing at their best right now. At 6-1, yeah, you better get that. Because they may blow out Mississippi, and you ain't going to get them at 6-1 then. So
I kind of think Texas really makes Georgia look good because, I remember that night in the afternoon we beat Alabama, and then Texas just got destroyed against Georgia, and I'm sitting there on cloud 9.
Oh, the best night ever.
And I thought, but my thought was, this Texas team just sucks. And you know what? They came back and they played really well.
They did.
Year. And Georgia just kept rolling. I'm high on them. I don't know if they can beat Ohio State. I think that'll be a great game. But again, if if I'm thinking those are the two best teams and you're giving me 2-1 versus 6-1, I mean, I'm taking the 6-1 and hoping that I'm right on it. So, all right, we're all on Georgia. So, okay, so we had a lot of consensus there, and I don't know if that's going to be good or bad. That'll be interesting to see how it shakes.
We're going to be the 3 smartest people come Sunday morning, or the 3 biggest morons. I don't know what it's going to be yet, but we'll be in the same boat regardless.
Well, I've had experience of being the moron, so
yeah, exactly.
It's nothing new.
I came into this wanting to disagree with everyone, and here we are. We've talked 55 minutes of this. We're all on the same thing. So hopefully these NFL games we could disagree a little bit.
So
I would say
everybody now knows this isn't scripted like ESPN and everybody else, where there's somebody on there that's going to disagree just so you can have an argument.
Yeah, exactly right. Well, look, I think it's 3 guys that bet a lot and look at lines a lot, and you just kind of, when you got even though it's a near future, but when you want a future wager, you just don't want to take the favorite unless you are just super confident in it, right? Yeah. And I just think you sit there and you look, you go, okay, well, who's the most logical team with the best price? And to me, I don't know, it's just Georgia. And I am of the opinion, I do like Ole Miss, and I don't think Oregon's as bad as what you guys think they are. But at the end of the day, I do think it runs down between Ohio State, Indiana, and Georgia. It's going to be one of those 3. So give me the big price of Georgia versus the shorter price of Ohio State and Indiana, who's around 5-2, 3-1, depending on where you are. So, and that's just
it would be okay with me if they win it.
Indiana?
Yeah, that would be okay with me too.
Yeah, that'd be an unbelievable story.
What a story. Yeah. I don't think I could stand to listen to it for all that time, but anyway.
I mean, as long as Texas doesn't win it each year, I'm okay.
I kind of am the same way. Yeah. Thank God we don't have to be talking about them.
That's right. Okay.
Dodged another year.
Okay, let's go to the NFL. All right, now we rapid fire this shit, Ricky. So just give us who's going to win.
Yeah, I like Seattle here. I think this is just
okay, just jump right in. That's fine.
I love it. Don't even wait. I love it. Yeah,
no. Well, I like Seattle. I think Thursday night, no Devontae Adams, and the Seahawks need, to me, home field advantage a little bit more than the Rams. So I just think that's a brutal place to go. The Rams, if anyone's ever seen a Rams game on TV, they don't have fans. It's always more opposing fans. So I think this will be huge. Again, just Puka Nacua they could run, but I trust Seattle's defense more, and I think the Phillip Rivers kind of playing decently will wake this Seattle team up. So I think on a short week, I like the Seahawks here.
All right, Papa Dude.
I do too. I'm going with Seattle, mainly because that's who I'm rooting for. I kind of like them a lot. I think they did come into that game sleepwalking last week, thinking, this is going to be easy. And by the way, it was just unreal how he can go out there and play like that, you know?
I know.
Not that he was anything fantastic, but I was really kind of pulling for him.
For 44 years old, he hadn't played in years. He hadn't
done anything for 5 years, wasn't it? 5 years, I think.
He looked good.
Well, definition of good, we're having to allow for some stuff. But anyway, he didn't get hurt. I think that's really good, you know. Yeah. He didn't get hurt.
I got to give him a lot of credit. I mean,
did
he really make any plays? Not really, but he didn't hurt him either.
No,
you know?
They had a good chance to win the game and didn't. So, yeah, I like Seattle in this one. I think this is going to be a really good game.
Yeah, I'm with Seattle as well. So we're going to go clean sweep.
Oh, my God.
All right. Ricky, great game here. The Eagles and the Commanders. Eagles -6.5. Who you got?
I'm going to lean Commanders. I think I definitely want the 7.5 if I'm going to bet, but I think the Eagles will win. But in terms of that number, I don't put any stock into what they did against Vegas. I think the 3 of us could have been out there playing for the Eagles, and we would have all scored touchdowns too. That team, they want to go to Mexico. They want to go to Europe. They're done playing. They don't care. I put nothing into that. They're force-feeding A.J. Brown the ball. Saquon doesn't look good still. Every single week, he still doesn't look good. These sneaky division games at the end of the year are tough, and I think Mariota's been playing pretty well as a backup. That's what he is, a decent backup. If I can get 7.5, great. Even at the 6.5, I would lean Commanders at home in a primetime Saturday night game, a Saturday afternoon.
All right, Papa Dude.
Yeah, I'm going to lean that way too. I'm not sold on the Eagles at all. And there's something wrong there. I don't know what it is. I think they'll win. I do think they'll win the game. And this spread may go up. It may. So I'm going to take the Commanders in the points.
All right, we'll disagree. I'm going to go Eagles here. I don't want to bet Mariota and have to watch that for 4 quarters. So I'm going to go with the Eagles in this one. I'm surprised by this line. Dennis sounds like he's surprised by this line as well. Packers, Bears, we just saw this. It was a pretty competitive game last time at Lambeau. Now we're in Chicago. Green Bay is a favorite, Ricky, -1.5. Who you got in this one?
Yeah, I'm all over Chicago. I don't understand this either, and maybe again, I'm just the moron in the room. I don't get it. No Micah Parsons, so obviously that's a big difference.
I don't get it. And
I'm, in my opinion, the biggest Caleb Williams supporter. And I know I'm talking to 2 people that saw him leave Oklahoma, and he went with Lincoln Riley, and I get it. God knows how much money he was getting to go and whatever, but I think the Bears are the better team. They played well against the Packers in a game where a lot of people had question marks. They went to Philly and won just a couple weeks earlier, right after the Black Friday game, I believe. I'm all on the Bears. I think the Bears are a real threat to actually represent the NFC in the Super Bowl if things break their way, the way they are playing and the way they're built.
That's saying something. All right, Papa Dude, who you got?
Well, I was looking here real quick. Have you guys seen the Bears' schedule?
No, go
They
for
got
it.
this game. They got to go to San Francisco,
Mm-hmm.
and they got the Lions.
Yeah,
That's
tough.
a pretty tough last 3. This is a huge game
Yeah,
for them.
yeah.
You know, I was listening to Rich Eisen, and one of his bold predictions is if they don't win this game, they may not make the playoffs. Can you imagine that?
That would be crazy.
That would be crazy. I'm all over them too.
Yeah.
I was shocked when I saw this line.
So I agree with Dennis. This does feel like a trap because
That
of the
does.
injuries specifically. A lot major injuries there for Green Bay.
Yeah.
Also, the Bears, they just haven't had a lot of success against Green Bay. Let's be real.
That's
about
true.
it. I think this is the time. I'm on the Bears.
I'm too.
Yeah, clean sweep.
This
of the
is my
Bears.
best bet of the week in the pros.
Oh,
No, I got
don't
one more. I don't
know if we can make a Bears the best bet or not, but it just feels like you should bet them here. All right.
Another thing, they went to Cleveland last week, and I know Cleveland's nothing.
Mhm.
They just beat the tar out of them.
Well, I will say this: Cleveland's nothing for sure, but they don't usually get blown out. It's
No.
usually a battle. It's usually an ugly game. So I don't think I do think that counts for something.
I do
I
too.
do, unless Cleveland's just kind of quit finally. But
They don't usually. That's the
They
thing.
don't usually. No. Speaking of, Ricky, let's talk about those Browns. The Bills go on the road here. It's the Bills -10. It's a tricky line. What do you think happens in this one?
I think this is a real bad spot for Buffalo. Not because of, I think they'll win the game. That's a lot of points coming off of a massive, massive win last week. And we see a lot of these teams bounce. To Papa Dude's point, we just saw Cleveland look like my local high school who can't beat 11 people on the street. They're horrendous. They're not going to be that bad. And I don't want to admit it, Shedeur Sanders looks like he could be a halfway decent quarterback. Now, I'm all over the Browns +10, and it's a real nasty pick. I'm not going to have any fun doing it. I'm not going to watch this game, and I'm just going to pray at 3 p.m. local your time and 4 p.m. local my time. I see a 9-point loss or better. I'm not going to watch any of this, but I just think those guys, whether he's good or not, they want to play for the kid. Those guys in the locker room want to play for him. Maybe not for Stefanski, but things look worse. Jerry Jeudy catch the ball in the end zone, right? Like, there are just certain things that didn't make his performance look as bad as I think it will. I'll take Cleveland getting the 10.
All right, Papa Dude, who you got?
Well, Ricky's got more money than I do, so I'm not going to bet this game. I kind of tend to lean his direction. I think the Bills have to stay motivated, though. They cannot afford to slip up. They don't play well on the road. Yes, all the factors are there. They're going to be down. They're going to be flat. Not down, but flat. Josh Allen against Shadur. Oh, there's no comparison. I can't do it. Give me Buffalo in the points.
Give me Buffalo as well. I don't bet the Browns ever. That's a golden rule of mine. So, all right. Chargers, Cowboys. This is another one. Kind of feels like a weird line. The Cowboys are favored here by 2.5 points. The Chargers, my goodness, they just get Herbert just keeps getting beat up every single week, but they're winning. Ricky, what do you think happens here?
Yeah, I'll take the Chargers too. I don't know why I'm taking so many dogs. I might have to reevaluate what I'm doing. I think the Chargers are the better team. Dallas just gave up 1 million points to a quarterback we're not sold on, and Herbert's a lot better than, I guess. I don't know what I'm thinking, but yeah, Herbert's better than McCarthy. The Chargers are the better team, and they're still playing for something. Dallas at this point really isn't, and I think for them it's trying to focus on next year. So I will take the Chargers.
Yep. No, I'm with the Chargers 100%. Papa Dude?
Best bet of the week, Chargers.
Chargers. All right.
I don't understand this line. I don't get this line at all.
I didn't get it last week either. The Chiefs were 5.5 point favorites.
I didn't get that either, no.
And I played the Chargers plus 5.5, and I was sitting there in the fourth quarter going, why didn't I play the money line? I was like, I thought the Chargers would win that game all along. So
this isn't the old Chargers. This is a different Chargers team.
Yes, this is the old Cowboys.
It's the same old Cowboys, but the Chargers are they're winning games somehow. I don't know how they do it, but they are. And those are the kind of teams you don't want to bet against.
They've transformed themselves into like a tough team.
They're tough, and that's Harbaugh.
That's
Harbaugh.
It's Harbaugh, exactly.
Yeah.
All right. The Gardner Minshew era starts in Kansas City, and they get to go to Tennessee to play the Titans. What a marquee matchup. The Chiefs minus 3.5. This is a pretty hard one, in my opinion. I don't know what the psyche's going to be of Kansas City. They're eliminated for the first time in forever. I don't know what those guys will do. So, Ricky, are you going to take the Titans as the underdog here?
Come on, Rick. Come on.
No, I'm not going to take the Titans. I want to take over 37.5. This is my play of the week.
I like it.
I think you have a quarterback in Minshew who will put the ball in harm's way. So with that happen, tend to be turnovers. We see it's the Jameis Winston 2.0. He'll throw it to your team and he'll throw it to the other team. And Cam Ward will come out slinging it, right? You want to give that kid reps as many times as you can. This is a low number. I don't have a real strong play, but Nick Wright, I'm sure people know who that is. He's on Fox. He said, we'll find out how bad this Chiefs team is with Mahomes not playing. And I agree with that. And I think they are really bad without him. And obviously he's not playing. So I'll take 37.5. I think it's a low number. Weather should be decent. And I think both teams will kind of throw caution into the wind and start slinging it around the field.
I think it's a good look on the over there at 37.5. Papa Dude, what do you think?
Well, we live in Missouri. We know even though we're not Chiefs fans at all. In fact, we think it's kind of funny. But anyway, I know the mood around here, and we're 2 hours from Kansas City. It's like a funeral.
Yeah.
And I just don't see any way they can get motivated to play.
Mm-mm.
I don't see any way they can. I mean, they've lost their leader. They're out of the playoffs. It's extremely disappointing. Oh, yeah, we get to go and play the 2-12 Titans for what? If you were ever going to bet the Titans, it seems like – because they usually put up a fight.
Yeah, somewhat.
I don't have the guts to do it, but because they're
well, I'll say that I think it's Titans or pass.
Yeah.
I don't think you want to bet the Chiefs in this spot.
No, I just don't see how they can get ready to play.
It's probably better off to do what Ricky did, taking over here, because you also are betting the Titans if you bet the Titans. So it's like
you just can't do it. But logic, sometimes you have, of course, in betting, logic never works. But logic just tells you this Chiefs team is paying absolutely no attention to what's going on this week.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And the coaches are out there wasting their time. They just said, hey, no practice this week. Show up for the flight.
Let's get this over with. Yeah.
No, I'm serious.
Yeah.
I've coached in these kind of situations. And no matter what you say, they're looking at you like, are you out of your freaking mind?
this feels like a bad bowl game where both teams were bowl eligible. They were both
absolutely.
bowl eligible. No one wants to play. Players are going to transfer portal. They're graduating. They're taking their girlfriends to Cancun. They're going to LA for. Nobody cares. Not one person cares.
They can't possibly. And the other thing is, there's a lot of Chiefs players that probably aren't going to be in Kansas City next year.
Yeah,
as well. And you got the Kelsey thing. Is he going to retire? Stuff like that. There's a lot of distractions. Mahomes is hurt. That's the main story. How's his knee going to recover and all that? It's just a perfect time for him to get beat.
I do think that all this does play to the over because who's going to be motivated? I think Cam Ward will be. We're trying to build. Yeah. We're trying to score points. And Gardner Minshew, I mean, we've seen him enough to know.
Yeah.
He'll go out there and try.
He'll probably try. Yeah, he's probably paying attention this week to the coaches.
Yeah, and it's a good kind of, hey, where's my next contract coming type of game for him. If he has a good finish to the season,
he showed it to us. The first possession, he gets in there, he throws a pick trying to hit Kelsey. Like, he'll throw the ball. Like, he told us to throw it. He's not backing down. He's a backup, just like Mariota we talked about. Like, those guys, they know they're solidified backups anywhere in this league. So he's got nothing to lose. Sling it around the yard. You don't have to give it to Kareem Hunt for 1 yard up the middle. Who cares? Just throw it.
Yeah, and like you said, that could lead to a big play one way or another. Could lead to a pick six. Could lead to a touchdown. Either way, you're getting points out of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Why did we spend this long talking about that game?
Well, I think because we just relish in the fact that we're talking about him in that light. I think is for me personally.
That's what I want to take.
Talking about the Chiefs being out of the playoffs brings more joy to me than anything else in the world.
It's funny how most of America hates them. Most of America 10 years ago didn't even know they existed. Hardly.
Well, you talk about Trump derangement syndrome. This is Chiefs derangement syndrome.
There you go. Yeah. All right.
Only the other one makes a hell of a lot more difference than this one does.
All right, let's go. Bengals and Dolphins next in this one. This is a terrible game. The Dolphins are going to play Quinn Ewers at quarterback. That's exciting. Ricky, let's see. Cincinnati -5.5, so they're favored here on the road. Who you got?
Yeah, to me, it's Dolphins or pass, only because I saw what Joe Burrow, they weren't even eliminated. And we had a couple weeks ago, he's talking about, I'm not having fun. If I'm making $50-something million a year, I'll have a ball of a time. Trust me, I'll have a ball. And I got my two buddies paid. I don't know what he's talking about. Maybe it is something off the field that I can't speak on. If something's really, that's on his mind or something that he has to give full attention to. But just on the football side, he got shut out. And as a Ravens fan, he used to light them up every single time they played. And for him to get shut out at home, he didn't even look like he wanted to be there. And when he threw a pick, we all know the days Mahomes throwing his helmet, Lamar throws his helmet, Burrow sat down with a hat on and didn't look like he wanted to be there. So to me, it's Dolphins or pass. It would be a pass for me, but if someone needed an opinion, I would take the 5.5 and take Miami.
All right, Papa Dude.
I would too. I don't like the body language. I don't know what he was thinking, coming out and saying what he said. And I don't know, maybe he's just frustrated. Could just been a frustrating thing. But they played like crap last week. It looked like a team that had quit. So I'm with you. I think I'm a little surprised they're favored by 5.5. I guess it's because of Ewers starting.
One thing about it, I don't think the Dolphins have quit. No. I just don't think they're very good, but I still think they're trying. So I'm with you. I would take the Dolphins in that spot. I'm not betting that game. Forget about it. But anyway. Another game I won't be betting, so let's give our picks. So the Jets and New Orleans. New Orleans is a 4.5-point favorite. Honestly, they're not playing all that bad. What do you think, Ricky? Can they win their fifth?
Who the heck cares? They can. I never would have thought in my wildest dreams the Saints would be a 4.5-point favorite in any game this season. So I guess that's something to be said. The Jets are the worst franchise outside of the Cleveland Browns. They're so far and above away. Those two are so much worse because the Saints have had success with Drew Brees and whatever. And I do think Kellen Moore is a good coach. I think if you got him the right quarterback, I think he would be good. I kind of do like the Saints in this spot. They've looked good against some NFC South teams. Tyler Shuck, not a franchise guy, but he's playing decently. The Jets just gave up 1 million points to Jacksonville. They don't want to be there either. they'll probably be partying the night before on Saturday night. So they won't, they don't care. They're looking at this as a free vacation. I'll take the Saints.
I'm with the Saints as well. Papa Dude, who you got?
Let's go to the next one. I got
All
the Saints.
right. All right. The little sweep there.
We can go real fast on this one, too.
Now, the Giants said, hold on. We may be the worst franchise. Hold on. Let us get into this conversation.
They're in the running.
Browns. Minnesota comes to town. Minnesota -3 here against the Giants. Who you got, Ricky?
Yeah, I guess I'll take Minnesota, and it's like a real small play. Again, this is another pass for me. To me, this is the bigger question. I want to ask you guys to drum this up a little bit. If the Giants continue to lose and they get the first overall pick, are they in the market for a quarterback? I think that's a real conversation. Or are they rolling with Dart? What are they going to do there? Maybe that's a conversation for what if they actually get the number 1 overall pick. But I think this is Vikings or pass. Dart will make a few plays. They'll be exciting. But that defense gave up 29, I think, to Mariota, who knows he's a backup. So J.J. McCarthy is a little bit more talented than Mariota to me still. So I'll take Minnesota.
Yeah, on the Jackson Dart thing, I think you're rolling with him next year. I think you are. That's a good question, though, but I think you're rolling with him. I think you're giving him another year or two there. I'm with Minnesota as well, Papa Dude. What do you think?
Me too. And on the Jackson Dart thing or the quarterback thing, who are you going to pick?
Yeah.
There's a bad year for quarterbacks.
It's been a couple bad years, I think, for quarterbacks, honestly. All right, let's go. This is something. For the division, at least for now, they're going to meet again in a couple of weeks, the last game of the year. Buccaneers and the Panthers here in Carolina. It's Tampa Bay -3 in this spot. Panthers, all they had to do was have a 1-game lead coming into this to beat the Saints. They could not do it. They can't win a game they're supposed to, then they win games they're not supposed to. What happens here, Ricky?
I love the Panthers in this spot.
Yeah.
And I never thought I would say that, but you're right. Every time the Bucs play a game they're supposed to win, they look horrendous. And every time Carolina plays a game that they're supposed to play well, and they do play well. That doesn't mean they win the game, but they play well. They beat the Rams at home in a game that a lot of people think the Rams are the best team in football, maybe the Broncos, whatever. But I think this is a massive game for the Panthers in terms of their fan base, probably the best team they've had since the Cam Newton days. So we're talking a long time. I think if they get into the playoffs, they win their division. Obviously, they'll be a 4 seed. They could be frisky, and I think Bryce Young is proving himself after some time. So I'll take the Panthers.
Papa Dude?
Well, you know who I'm rooting for. Sometimes you get a reprieve, and the Buccaneers have gotten a reprieve. Because I think when they lost that game to Atlanta, they thought they would be in second place.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're not.
Mm-hmm.
Give me the Bucs. I think they're going to go in there and beat them.
I think the health of the Bucs is going to be a big key. I think they're getting healthier and healthier. I think they're going to win this game. That being said, I could totally see them losing the last game of the year. I could see this flipping from what you think is going to happen.
No doubt.
I don't think there's a much difference between these two teams. I think this is a game the Bucs are going to get, but it's going to be very interesting. That's going to be a very I don't know if it's going to be entertaining. I don't know if it'll be a well-played game. I think it will be entertaining. All right, Jaguars and Broncos. Yeah, huge game. This is what we all thought was going to happen here. 2 elite teams here in the AFC meeting up. Denver -3 here at home. I played against them last week, Ricky, and I got my ass beat as Green Bay did not put up much of a fight after halftime, basically. Did get a lot of injuries. Can Denver do it again? Denver -3. Who you got, Ricky?
I'll take Denver. I just want to point out this look-ahead line last week before the games were played. It was Denver -6.5.
Wow.
Because of what we saw with Jacksonville destroying the Jets, which I'll put into that Eagles-Raiders camp of I don't put much thought into it, I think this is great. If you like the Broncos in the spot, Jacksonville destroying the Jets was the best thing that could happen to you because your number has changed. And I know, Papa Dude, you're not as in tune into the betting world and totally makes sense, but I don't love Denver at 6.5 as it was on paper. I love them at 3. And I would be willing to take the 0.5 point to make it 2.5. And, if they win by a field goal, fine. But, yeah, I'm all in on Denver. I think this team, they're 7-0. You could see it at home. To go to Mile High for a team like Jacksonville who plays in warm weather and things of that nature, I just think this is going to be too tough for them.
All right. I'm with Denver as well. I'm not going to go against them this week. Papa Dude, who you like?
Oh, I am too. It's a clean sweep. Now the weather's not going to be that bad. It's warm for this time of the year here. It says 57 in Denver, so that won't be a big deal. But they're better.
Mm-hmm.
They're better than Jackson. I'm beginning to get sold on them. And this Denver, they still have the incentive. They have not clinched the number 1 seed or anything yet.
Yep.
I think if they win this one, have they got it pretty well sold? They'll have a 2-game lead over the Chargers, but they probably got to play them again.
Yeah,
I know they got to
play the Chargers.
Okay. Yep. So they still got some work to do to get that number 1 seed, which is a big deal. If you can get the home field advantage in Denver, that's a big deal. And I think they're getting better. I think offensively they're getting better. I really like them. I think they win this one pretty easy.
Got to be the best coaching job, I think, in a long, long, long time there in Denver. They were a disaster before he got there, and they've been respectable every year. This being the 3rd year, now they're really, really good. He has done a tremendous job with them.
He has to be one of the most underrated coaches of all time.
Has to be.
And he just doesn't get talked about like those guys because of the lack of Super Bowls. But what he did, to your point, I can't remember a team that was so bad with Russell Wilson to Super Bowl favorites or best team in the AFC. So I agree.
Yeah.
Well, first year he gets there, he almost gets them to the playoffs. They have a winning record. Second year, they do get to the playoffs. And then now they're going to be, the number 1 seed, or at least, if not the number 1 seed, up there towards the top. So, yeah, he's done an incredible job. I still don't think that roster is that good, but he's done a great job. He really has. When I say that, they're much better from year 1 to year 3, much better. But I still don't look at them and say, well, that's a Super Bowl winning team. But
yeah, and I think for us on the offense, we don't look at any of those spectacular players. And it's like Green Bay similarly. Like they don't have a wide receiver who's a Justin Jefferson or a Jamar Chase or that Josh Allen quarterback. So they do it by committee. RJ Harvey, running the ball. Dobbins is out for the year again. So they just do it by committee, which makes it tough because you don't know who to hone in on. I think it makes them incredibly difficult to game plan for.
Yep. No, I agree with that as well. All right. Falcons and Cardinals next. Real quick on this one. Who cares? Atlanta minus 2.5. I don't know what to do here. What do you think, Ricky?
Cardinals. I have nothing else to add. Who cares? Cardinals.
Papa Dude.
Well, I want to take the Cardinals too, but I can't because I never get them right. So, but I think they may break that streak. And by the way, there's going to be a quarterback that plays for Arizona that's going to be available in the offseason too.
I would think so. Yes, I would think so.
It's just, do you want to take a chance on a guy that's maybe ditched his team? Maybe. Maybe he has a right.
He's playing a lot of video games. He's getting very good at video games.
So that would be my concern. And the other fact is he had never done anything much.
And then there's a quarterback situation brewing in Atlanta too, where I think Kirk Cousins has kind of earned himself a job somewhere. We talked about it over text, Ricky, last week. Cousins has looked pretty good. He might be serviceable for somebody.
He's always looked pretty good.
Yeah, he kind of got a raw deal in Atlanta, let's be honest. So.
Yeah.
And it hasn't really worked out for Atlanta, has it? So
I said, and I think Aaron, I texted you this. If I'm the Jets, I'm doing whatever I can to get Kirk Cousins, assuming I can't get Mendoza, because they would have to trade up a lot to get Mendoza and maybe a little bit, not as much for like a Dante Moore. I'm trading a 4th, a 5th round pick, whatever. Atlanta will eat some of that Kirk Cousins money, and I'll take Kirk Cousins because he can do it. He played outside in Washington. I think that's a great fit for the Jets. And you see where you're at. You then reevaluate Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson, and you kind of just intake what's going on there. I think that's a great move if the Jets can pull that off.
And if I'm Kirk Cousins, I'm calling my agent saying, please block it. Somehow block it.
Don't
anywhere but there in Cleveland.
Yeah, but wouldn't you want to be the starter? Like, all seriousness, wouldn't you want to be the starter somewhere?
Yeah.
Not in New York, but you want to start somewhere, don't you?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. I don't know. I think I would rather be the backup in Atlanta than the starter at New York. That's
here's the other thing too.
That's fair.
Mendoza is not a slam dunk.
No.
And you put him on a shitty team. How good is he? How good is he going to be?
Can I jump in and say something? And this could totally blow up in my face. And I'm okay with it. If OU wins, I'm not scared of Indiana. I'm not saying we would beat them.
I wondered when you were going there.
I think we could beat them.
Well, I do too.
Where if we were playing Ohio State, I would pretty much be going into the game going, it's going to take some divine intervention, let's say. Where we go to the Indiana game, I kind of go, what? We should be about a 5-point underdog, but we can win.
If you want to go back to college here, when you have a defense as good as we have, we can beat anybody, can't we?
Yes.
There's no one out there with an offense that's dynamic enough to make it to where it's going to be a one-sided game.
Yes.
Unless we make a lot of mistakes.
I think we stop them. Now we may lose like 17-7, but or 20-7, but I think we stop them. Ricky, you're smiling. Go ahead.
No, this podcast is incredible. We went from Kirk Cousins playing a meaningless game in Atlanta, and we're talking about how Oklahoma could upset Indiana. This is why you got to love this. This is why it's must-watch TV, because we somehow get back to Boomer Sooner. I'm all for it. I just love how the pathway we got there. But I'm with you.
Here's the deal. Mike says, sorry, guys, I'm pretty confident IU would shut them out. I don't think we'd get shut out, but I'm pretty confident we couldn't move the ball much. So that's where it's at.
The ball on a JUCO.
I think the game could be like 20-6. Indiana wins very easily.
The defense would keep Oklahoma in the game, and I
think
yes.
What I'm saying is, when you think of the Heisman Trophy winning quarterbacks, and then you think of this guy, I'm not scared of him. I think they'll stop him.
Me too.
Yeah. No, I agree. Or at least limit him to the point where you're in the ball game.
Yeah.
The quarterback that kills OU is a runner, a guy that can run.
Yes.
They can't control that quarterback run. It's been the history of Venables' defenses over the years. That's been a problem, trying to guard a mobile quarterback.
Yep.
And that's not a knock on him at all. I don't mean it as a knock at all.
No, that is the truth. His weakness on defense has been mobile quarterbacks.
They've had a hard time covering them.
Yes, and that goes all the way back to the first stint at OU.
There's a hell of a lot of people that have a hard time covering a mobile quarterback. So
I'm just saying, I think that game is interesting if it happens. I don't think I would pick Oklahoma. I know I wouldn't pick them, but I would not win a game. There's no chance.
I think I would.
Oh, wow. Well, maybe we'll talk about that in a couple weeks. I hope it happens. So anyway, all right, let's go. Steelers and Lions back to the NFL. Yeah. Ricky, who you got here? Detroit -7 against the Steelers.
Yeah, I'm a homer only because I'm a Raven fan. We'll dive into that game, but I need Detroit to win this game bad. If the Ravens want any chance to get in the playoffs, we need to make up a game somewhere before that last week. I also think Detroit's fighting for whatever playoff hopes they have, right? So it's not like they're not motivated. And again, I'm not going to put any stock into Tua throwing Hail Mary duck passes. I mean, he's a nightmare. The Steelers look good against a team that can't play in the cold. Tua's like 0-7 in games that are under 40 degrees. I've never seen I can't even dive into him right now. Yeah, I'll take the Lions. I think 7's a little much. I wish that line was a little bit lower. So if you can grab it a little bit lower, fine. But they scored against LA, and I think they'll score against this Steeler team too. So I will take the Lions.
With you. Lions for me. Papa Dude?
Me too. I don't like the line, though. That line may be just a steep, too high. They're better than the Steelers.
I'll say this. It's a high line for a reason. I think they're a lot better than the Steelers.
Yeah.
I like Detroit a lot in this game. Even at 7, I like. I don't think
they have to win. They have to.
Raiders, they're really good. They take on the Texans here. It's 14.5. I don't know if you want to lay 14.5 with a team that can't score like the Texans, but I don't think they're in any danger of losing, and the Raiders are epically, horrifically bad. Any thoughts on this one, Ricky?
Yeah, the Texans. My only question is, do the Raiders go to Mexico right from Houston? Do they have to fly back to Vegas? Then they could go to Mexico for vacation? How does that work? Is it like a pit stop in Houston or like frequent flyer miles? How does that work? Because they have no interest. Zero. So I'll take the Texans. I don't care if it's 14.5. They don't want to play. They were not interested in Philly. They won't be interested here. So I'll take the Texans. I don't care how big the line is.
Yeah. All right. I'm with you.
Didn't they slaughter somebody last week? The Texans? They did, didn't they?
Who was
it? Yeah, they did. They won by 1 million. Ah, God, yeah. I can't remember.
I can't remember who played this time. Yeah.
Did they play Tennessee?
Yeah, that's who it was.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Right, AFC South. Yeah, it would be an AFC South team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like this team. I think they're rolling. right now too. That's a dark horse. They got to make the playoffs first, but I think they're going to. So yeah, they're going to roll. I never bet 14.5, but I would this time.
All right, this is the one I'm sure Ricky's dying to talk about. His Ravens hosting the Patriots. Patriots coming off of a loss. Ravens -3 in the spot. They have to have it. They need a win. They need a Steelers loss, like you just mentioned. Break it down for us. What do you think's going to happen here?
This is why the Ravens pay. I'm talking to Lamar Jackson. I know you're watching somewhere right now, so hear me out. This is why they pay you the money, right? 7-7, must-win game at home. You have the fighting Mike Vrabels coming into your house. This is why we pay you. Your season's on the line. You lose, you go home. And I know you're banged up. You're definitely hurt. I could see it. You're not running, and that's fine, but get the job done. That 3 is probably because of the desperation, I think, purely because of that. I do think they get the job done, and I think Buffalo exposed that defense that New England is going to bring next week. It doesn't mean the Patriots aren't good, and if they get hot again, that's fine. I know they're 6-0 on the road, and the Ravens have struggled at home. They lost to Houston at home by 1 million when Lamar was hurt. I think this game is going to be a reminder of why Lamar Jackson should have won the MVP last year and why he's already a 2-time MVP. I think this is a legacy type of game for him on Sunday night.
All right. Baltimore for Ricky. Papa Dude, what do you think?
Well, did New England's bubble burst last week? You got a 21-0 lead over your big rival. You can put them away with a win. You're up 21 at home, and somehow you get beat. And now you got to go play a desperate team. So I think the Ravens win this game. I think they win it pretty easy. By the way, they got to win this game. They got to go to Green Bay next week. That's not fun. You win this one, and then Pittsburgh gets beat. You're right there with them, but it's not over after you win this one.
No.
They really put themselves in a jam when they lost those last 2 games before they won last week. Man, those games, they were at home too, I think.
Well, the loss to Pittsburgh is just a brutal loss.
That was a brutal loss.
That was the bad one. And look, they had things. They didn't get any breaks in that game.
No.
I mean, I don't know how that wasn't. We're not going to get into it, but it was, they should have been a touchdown to take the lead.
Yeah. If they can somehow win the division, they are going to be a tough out.
Yep.
I would not want to play them because they're going to get healthy. I love them in this game. I've not been on the Patriots all year. What a coaching job, though. Fantastic. When you look at New England's schedule, they have played absolutely nothing.
Yep.
And that's the benefit of having a last place schedule in the NFL. You don't have that tough schedule. And they took advantage of it. You got to give him credit. I mean, he's done a great job. Drake May's a great quarterback. But he was exposed a little bit last week, and the Ravens are desperate. So I think they're going to win, and maybe by 7 or 8.
Any final thoughts on the Ravens, Ricky?
Yeah. So you guys brought it up. They had 5 turnovers, I believe, against Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And against Pittsburgh, they just didn't catch a break. But if they don't make the playoffs, they'll only be able to look at themselves in the mirror.
Yeah.
There were just too many mistakes. And as a Raven fan, I'm very unbiased when it comes to them. This is a game you have to win. And if you get to the point where you lose to Pittsburgh on the road later in the year, fine. Those games it's like in Oklahoma, Texas. Those games are brutal. It takes a lot out of you. And I get it, but you don't want to see Lamar in the playoffs. And as football fans, we need Lamar. We're not going to see Mahomes. And having Lamar in there, it makes it a little bit more exciting. And then you get all the storylines of, is this going to be the year, things like that. So I think the playoffs would be better with him in it over Aaron Rodgers. That's just an objective opinion. So this is do or die. The season's really on the line Sunday night.
Yeah. No, if you lose this one, it's over. There's no doubt about it. Maybe not mathematically because the Steelers could lose, but it's over. It's pretty much over, in my opinion. They got to have it. All right. Speaking, they got to have it. Colts have got to win this one. They're at home taking on the 49ers. San Francisco -6. So we are last one here, Monday Night Football. Ricky, what do you see happening in this one?
I have to take San Francisco. I saw Grandpa Rivers throw like 1 million passes for like 120 yards. I mean, I give him credit.
Yeah.
I really do. for not playing for 5 years, to really come back and play, and it's a great story. I just don't see it. And this 49er team, I know their defense isn't great, but they can still score. And they still have weapons between Jennings and Kittle and McCaffrey. McCaffrey is an underrated MVP candidate. I know he won't win it, but for what he's done for that team this year, obviously the Ayuk distraction. Give me San Francisco. I think San Francisco is going to be a real tough out in the playoffs, assuming they're healthy going into it.
All right, Papa Dude.
Yeah, great coaching job in San Francisco with all the injuries and to play in that tough division they play in. And everybody wants to beat you too because you're still a named team. And to win 10 games with the injuries they've had, what a job. I think the Colts may struggle to win another game this year. I haven't looked at their schedule, but I can't go with Rivers against the Niners.
I feel bad for the Colts and their fans and their team because this was a great story, and they were. I mean, I think they were pretty legit until the Daniel Jones. Not even the second injury, the first injury where he had the leg problem. He had a fractured leg. That just hurt him. It stunted whatever growth he was having, and then he gets hurt, and now you're in this situation. It's hard to. It's going to be a spectacle. Monday night, they're at home. It's Rivers. I mean, all the intangibles say take the Colts, right? But you just look at the matchup and you go, I just don't see how they're going to beat the 49ers. So,
can I ask two Colts questions to you guys?
Sure.
One, are we sure Riley Leonard, if healthy, isn't better than Phillip Rivers? And two, I'll ask two questions at the same time. So that's one. And two, are you re-signing Daniel Jones? Is he your quarterback going into next year? Given the health, obviously, is part of it. What does that situation look like? Obviously, Anthony Richardson seems like a bust at this point. So, like, how are we looking at this? I think Riley Leonard, in my opinion, is probably a better option to me.
I would roll with him. Yeah, I would. The second question is really difficult. I feel like you want to try to make it work with Daniel Jones if he's healthy. That's how I would answer that. Papa Dude, go ahead.
Well, Riley Leonard must be awful.
She must be bad. Yeah.
I mean, come on. Now, again, you got to look around and okay.
That's fair.
These coaches are not stupid.
Right.
They're not. And if a guy who hadn't played for 5 years is better than Riley Leonard, who technically, I guess, was your number 3 quarterback, right?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Because Richardson would have been second.
Sort of, yeah.
And I think the Colts are getting punished for drafting Richardson.
Yeah.
Number 1 quarterback. Anyway.
Well, let's face it. They're in the situation where Daniel Jones is the best option because they missed on their quarterback.
Yeah. So unless they want to go out and try to get Kyler Murray,
God.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's another place for Kirk Cousins, maybe.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
No, I mean, if the guy's playing indoors, he could sling it. He did in Minnesota, played inside. I just think they're better options than Daniel Jones.
I do too. I agree with you there.
I think that Daniel Jones train was slowly coming to an end, in my opinion. And you've seen it. Jonathan Taylor slowly tailed off. That team is not the same they were through Halloween. And doesn't mean Daniel Jones is bad. He clearly can start in this league, but he was never an MVP candidate.
No.
Let's be realistic. It just looked good.
What do you think Riley Leonard is thinking?
I think after
the paycheck, he's getting a paycheck.
His first call is going to be to Enterprise Rent-A-Car and asking if they have any availability. See if they have any jobs in Indianapolis where he could pick up part-time work, because he must be horrendous, to your point. If he can't play over a guy who's 44 years old who was coaching high school football.
Yeah. Hadn't played in 5 years.
Riley Leonard's injured though, right? Like
put on a little weight too.
I thought he was healthy. I thought
I don't know.
If he's hurt, he's hurt.
Week he was hurt.
If he's hurt, take back everything we said.
Last week he was hurt. I thought this week he was healthy.
Last week he was hurt. How did he get hurt?
He was hurt last week. He had some kind of knee situation last week.
What did he do? Fall down the steps?
Well, he played in that game.
Oh, he did? Okay.
Where Daniel Jones got hurt.
That's how much I watch this shit.
He did get hurt. And he played. I'm I'm just looking at a guy who's 44. He was coaching high school football.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, how bad? To your point, how bad do the coaches think I am? If I'm Riley Leonard, how bad do they think I am?
If he's hurt, that's it.
No, he can play this week. I know he can. I read that. I thought
Oh,
last week he was questionable. This week he can play.
He can play. Well, Philip was so impressive.
I mean, look, I think you just try to win it with run game.
Won the game.
You just try to win it with run game and defense, and maybe he can make a few plays. And
you ain't going to beat the 49ers doing that.
No, probably not. No, probably not. All right, that's it. We're done, folks. It was painless. Is it? Are there any other OU conspiracies we could talk about before we leave?
Conspiracies.
Yeah, anything to try to get us to the national championship. Is there any path?
I have a prediction. Okay. I've been dreading this one, but I predict our kicker.
No, don't do that.
Wait, that the kicker got hurt?
No, he misses a field goal.
Oh, no.
He's made 23 in a row. He just won the Groza Award.
With his short shorts, Papa Dude. He's well known for his short shorts.
Hey, by the way, have you heard what they're trying to get out? They're trying to get boxer briefs, but they look like those football pants.
Are they giving them to
stripes
fans?
down the side? It's the OU football pant. It's boxer briefs.
Oh, good.
And they're selling them, I guess.
Well, they're seriously considering it.
Where did you see this? And is this accurate?
I heard it on Eichert and Lehman.
Okay, well they
have a apparel company that supports them, that advertises on their podcast.
I would never give any secrets away, but if they are selling them, I'll be more than happy to purchase a pair for the both of you and send them so you can put them in your stocking, and you guys can, if there's a second game, knock on wood.
It's a pretty good idea.
Right, you guys can wear them on either Christmas or the day of the game. So
why don't we wear? We'll wear them to the Rose Bowl.
Yeah,
I think they would sell in Oklahoma land, don't you?
I want to ask you guys. Obviously, you're more ingrained, and you go to all the games, and you go to Norman, and I commend you guys for making the trip, especially last year when things were looking rough and Venables was on the hot seat. Is this a game of I'm just so happy we're in this position given where we were last year, and it's kind of like water under the bridge if they lose sort of thing, as long as we don't get blown out? Or is it more like, you know what, I really think this team has a shot, and I would be disappointed if we lost? And I can't speak on it because I'm not ingrained in the situation, but what is the mentality as Oklahoma fans going into this, given where we ended last season with let's get this guy out of here, and now we're in the college football playoff playing Alabama?
Go for it, Aaron.
Me first. I'll say this: that the LSU game, after that game, was about the happiest I've been probably since Mayfield was there. I tell you what, no, it's the happiest I've been since Kyler Murray went down and beat Texas in the Big 12 championship game after we had lost to him earlier. That after LSU was over, that's the happiest I've been since that moment. I was on cloud nine. And so to your point, or to your question, I wouldn't say I'm satisfied overall, but from where we were last year to this year, if we lose and it's a competitive game, I'm not going to be that upset. Now, 2-3 years down the road, we have to be better than this because that's who we are. But I think at this point, it's just icing on the cake for us after where we were last year.
Yeah. It's hard to describe how I feel about it. I'm not terribly excited about the game. I'm not. I don't know why. I'm very proud of them.
Yeah.
I'm very, very proud of them because
can I jump in? I think you're not excited because you don't think we can win it. The whole
I
thing.
don't. I really don't.
I'm the same way.
Yeah. But proud of this team. Yeah. Yes. Happy for the coach. Yes. Didn't want to see anything bad happen to him. He's been through a lot of personal stuff people don't know as well, and persevered for it all. He's a coach is about.
Mm-hmm.
He's not just blood and guts. He cares about the players. He dearly loves them. You can tell by the way they act around him. He's what you want.
Yeah.
He's not looking to leave. You know, he's generous. He donates a lot of money to stuff. He's just a great person.
Mm-hmm.
So you're so thrilled for him. But as far as excited, maybe it's because you know that you've got to win 3 more games.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
Like if you're going and you're interested in the Final Four, you know, you just have to win 2.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's part of it. I'm not that excited because I know, okay, that's out of the way. But it's like Aaron said, it's icing on the cake if we win.
Yeah. So we were in the, and I've said this a lot, we were in such a unique position. Most programs, most sports teams, when a coach is on the hot seat and it starts going bad, everybody didn't really like the coach anyway. Yeah. And so it's like, just get him out here as quick as we can. Everybody loves Brent Venables in Norman. Everybody does. There's not one person that was rooting against him. And so it wasn't anger ever. It was depression. Mm-hmm. When it wasn't working out. It's like, I am so depressed that this guy that I love isn't going to get the job done. And that's why I could say that win was like, he made it, because listen, if they would have lost that game, he would have been right back on the hot seat. Him being on the hot seat versus being kind of revered as, hey, you did it, was that last play when they knocked the ball down on the 4th down. If they go down and score, all of a sudden, even though we said 9-3 would be a good year, to lose and get knocked out of the playoffs at home by that team that wasn't very good, they would have been right back on it. So I was elated. Now, again, I'm more excited than you, I could tell, but at the same time, in the back of my mind, I know we're not there where we can win the whole thing. And this is Oklahoma, and that's where you need to be. However, at least we're building back towards it, right? Yeah. So it was a great year.
We're physical, man.
It's a great year, and a win Friday makes it even better.
Whatever happens after that. But the other thing is, too, as the adjustment OU fans have had to make.
Yeah.
This 10-2 is not acceptable back in the old days.
Right.
It just wasn't.
No.
So you've had to make that adjustment. And this is what I said when they went to the SEC. Those days of undefeated, 1-loss seasons are over.
Yeah.
And that's an adjustment that OU fans have had to make. And I think we thought we would come in and dominate the SEC. That's how dumb some of those people are. And the realistic people knew better. So honestly, now this is.
I think after last year, I think people get it.
They didn't, though.
I don't think they know, but I think now, everybody kind of understands what's going on.
Yeah.
So, from an outside perspective, obviously I wanted you guys to answer. Mm-hmm. I think the adjustment was a little bit greater from not just the move from, obviously you're playing different teams and scouting, but the way Lincoln Riley built the program on pure offense, speed, no defense, to we're playing a totally different brand of football.
Yeah.
It was good. I didn't realize, but it makes sense that it looked real ugly for a year or two because you're changing everything.
You had to change everything.
Like you're not just bringing in Lincoln Riley and now you're bringing in Ben Arbuckle to be the head coach. You are changing from we don't care if we win 55-51 to, okay, let's win the game 21-17. Yeah. So I just think when you're changing things.
Exactly.
Like that, it was a bigger adjustment than I think a lot of people envisioned, including myself.
Right. Well, another thing go ahead, Aaron.
Well, the last thing I'll say on it, I think you would have seen an 8-4, 9-3 type of team last year with a different quarterback.
Well, and we had injuries too.
And the injury. The offense was the worst I've ever seen last year, but they didn't have a quarterback and they didn't have any wide receivers. And so I do think while last year was, in my opinion, the worst year I've experienced since 1998, honestly, it was, they weren't as bad as it looked.
No, they didn't get blown out.
No. And so I think they could have been similar. I don't know. The defense wasn't as good last year as this year. No. But I think they could have been respectable at least. But what happened was, and maybe it's for the best long term, that was so embarrassing. And we were so embarrassed to
because of the offense was so bad.
but going 6-7 was just and
it
losing
was.
to Navy.
And
It was
losing to Navy. Navy was the icing on the cake.
so embarrassing.
And no
that-
offense to Navy, but you can't lose. You can't.
That's embarrassing.
Oklahoma cannot lose to Navy.
It's
Not
embarrassing.
acceptable.
It
But the
did
other thing
bring
that's-
them. I think everybody elevated their game after that and
Yeah.
said, "Look, we got to be better in all areas. NIL's got to be better.
Yeah.
Everything." And now
They were
it's
bigger.
paid off. So
The other thing I've noticed, and it may be this way all over the country, the SEC's in a bubble,
mhm.
and these SEC schools have no idea what Oklahoma history is. They don't have any
No.
idea. They don't have a clue how good we've been.
And they don't care.
They don't care.
No.
They're in their own little bubble. Like,
Yeah.
oh, you won some national? Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And we won the 7 national championships. You'd think they would know. They don't. They're not intimidated when they come into Norman.
No.
We used to play the Big 12 schools, and they would have gaudy records, and they would come in, and you could tell when they went out on the field. They're intimidated. The spots, no,
No.
none of them are intimidated. And when you go play at their place, totally different atmosphere than what the Big 12 is.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
I
would
mean,
roll into Kansas or Iowa State or somewhere. The other team didn't think they could beat them.
Right.
Well, we see it
That's
even now with bad teams, Mississippi State, LSU.
Yeah.
You go to that place and it's still sold out.
It's
Yeah.
nuts.
And that's the one thing. I went to Syracuse, obviously, and I never got that. Every Saturday was not a holiday. It wasn't
Right.
the town shuts down and things like that. So, right, they're not scared because they see these atmospheres every single week. And
Well, to your point, okay, last game of the year, you got an LSU team coming in there. They hadn't had a very good season. They don't have a head coach, and they fired the head coach. That's a much tougher program to beat than, say, if TCU's coming in there last game of the year and they're 7-4, or not Texas Tech this year, but previous years where they've always been 6-5, 7-4.
Yeah.
That's an easier game to win.
It is.
You're kind of just rolling the ball out there and beating them. Where
Well, I'll tell you how.
programs like LSU, even though everything's gone bad, they come in expecting to win. Period.
I don't know, Aaron, if you've heard this or not. They are canceling school Friday in Norman.
Yep.
Now, it may have been the last day before Christmas anyway. I don't know.
Mhm.
Before Christmas. They're canceling schools
Yeah.
in Norman because of the crowd that's supposed to be coming in there. I think it also was graduation night at
Yeah,
OU.
it is. Yes. Yeah.
They had to there's no hotel rooms anywhere.
Yeah.
There wouldn't have been anyway because it was graduation weekend and people were coming in to see their kids graduate. I don't know when they've rescheduled that. I guess they did it maybe Saturday. I don't know. They've had to totally change everything. It's going to be a zoo down there. It's a zoo anyway.
I was going to say they sell out every game. I'll believe
it's
that
not-
when I see it. I mean, it's good.
Everybody's saying it's the biggest game in OU history. That's bullshit.
No.
It's not. And it's not the biggest home game. How short their memory is. It's big, but
I think it's the biggest home game since 08, probably.
08, which one was that?
That Texas Tech when they were undefeated. And they came in there.
The biggest home game in the 2000s was Nebraska.
Well, 2000 against Nebraska is better than 08, but I'm just saying
Yeah.
that 08 game was huge.
I don't anticipate any more of an atmosphere than
I
the
think it'll be
last few weeks have been.
Yeah, I think that's the other thing. OU crowds have raised their game. The crowds have been great.
They
all
had
year.
to because they're playing the SEC.
Exactly. Yeah.
it's different. It's totally different too because you guys are talking about regular season games in terms of home games, right?
Yeah.
We've never, until the college football playoff and until last year, teams in a playoff who could win a national title were not playing home games. They were playing neutral site games. So
Right.
to a lot of younger fans, way younger than me, I'm almost 30, they're like, yeah, this is the college football playoff. Like, it's the norm. No, we've been around to see the BCS era, and then we saw the first four. So we kind of understand what that's like. But it's a massive game, arguably the biggest, obviously in this decade and probably last decade, because you're actually playing for a national title if you continue to win, as opposed to
That's
the
true.
regular season. So I just think what can come of it is different versus just the isolated game itself,
Yeah,
which younger
absolutely.
fans don't understand because they weren't around for the BCS era when the computers decided who was 1 and 2.
No, it's totally fair. I think the game in 2000 is I don't know what'll ever beat it. It was number 1 versus number 2, so, and that was crazy. And I think that I want to say the Tech game was like number 3 versus number 5 or something like that. I don't remember. It was huge. But yeah, in that era, those were the playoff games. They were happening in the regular season.
Yeah, the regular season were playoff games. Yeah,
it's a different animal. I'm going to tell you something though. This is close in my opinion.
It is.
It really is. So
most huge OU games during this 2000s, 21st century have been played on the road.
Yeah.
Most of the games we've had to win the conference championship been on the road.
Yeah.
Very few. I think only one time in Stoops' era was the clincher was at home.
Yep.
Every other time, and they won about their Big 12 championship or rights to get to the Big 12 championship, they won it on the road.
Well, I'll say this: it's the biggest game at home of that's not Bob Stoops' era. Lincoln Riley never had a game bigger. Brent Venables hadn't had a game bigger.
No.
So
the last thing I'll say is, to me, as I'm an Oklahoma fan through you guys, but you guys are obviously ingrained through the history. I think the SEC country nation wakes up if Oklahoma beats Alabama in this playoff game and says Oklahoma officially belongs. I think that will be not for this year. They won't win this year, but I'm talking about for the next 5, 10, 15 years where they're like, Oklahoma's here. They belong with us, as opposed to they're invaders. Let's see what they do. They're fully ingrained in this conference.
Yeah,
and I think that's important as well.
Well, I think Texas showed it last year, and I think you're right. I think we show it this year. You win this game, and I think it's just that quick. 2 years. These outsiders are now ingrained in it. And I'm with you. Because the best way to make new rivalries is to beat these teams, right? And if you're talking about beating Alabama 3 times in 13 months, you don't think that's going to be a rivalry moving forward. You
beat Alabama 3 times in 13 months, you're going to catch a lot of eyes in the SEC.
Yep, exactly.
Yep.
All right, we're going to catch a lot of eyes later because we're getting out of here. I've had enough of both of you. No, it's been a good show, guys. Ricky, appreciate you being on.
Thank you, Ricky. Good to see you, buddy.
Yep, it was fun as always. Papa Dude, we'll see you Friday. Going to be a good time. All right, guys. I hope we win that game. That'll be a lot of fun. All right, guys, we're going to get out.
You know what? I wasn't excited until now.
I think Ricky got you excited. He does that to people.
Damn it.
Males mostly.
I try.
Males mostly, but yeah. All right, we're gonna leave. All right, guys, we'll see you on here. We'll do a show next week. We'll do early in the week next week.
That could be about Tuesday, probably.
Yeah, I'd say you're right. All right, guys, thanks everybody for joining us, and we'll see you next week.